Ain't it up, ain't it up? I'm a whole vibe, I'm a mood. What it is, what it is.
Hi. Welcome back to the Pink Pod Podcast, where we talk a little bit about VO and a lot of it about life. I'm your host, Olivia Sarafina Washington. Here we are back again. Welcome. I like how I said that in that my last episode. Today is March 3rd, Tuesday. And you will be receiving this in 2 days. By the next time that I record, it'll probably be the day of the release. I will record Thursday morning and release it the same day because I'm getting too comfortable. I'm getting too it'll be all good. It'll be fine. Yes, I know you see my beautiful makeup that I did today. It's just getting warmer here in Atlanta, and I've been feeling like myself again. And so I've been wanting to accessorize and decorate and look pretty. Please tell me I look pretty in the comments. Is that lighting better or worse? Better or worse? Sound off below. Every 5 minutes, I'll adjust the lighting. Today is the eclipse. Today is the lunar eclipse in Virgo. So it told me that I would struggle with work stuff. And I'm already lagging a bit in this recording. Let me tell you. So it is a lunar eclipse. It's the last one we're going to have until 2028. So it's a big deal. And it's in Virgo. It's a full moon in Virgo. My moon is in Virgo. A lunar eclipse happens when the earth moves precisely in between the sun and the moon, casting its shadow over the moon's face. During a total lunar eclipse, the moon passes completely through Earth's shadow, transforming her usual bright silver light into a deep, mystical shade of red. The eerie glow comes from sunlight filtering through the Earth's atmosphere and bending around our planet to reach the moon's surface, painting her in shades of copper and crimson. So it's called the blood moon. And what this means. So right now it's Pisces season, and the full moon in Virgo is its opposition. It's on separate sides. So Pisces flows formless and boundless, while Virgo creates structure and form. Where Virgo grounds us in earthly wisdom, Pisces dissolves boundaries and connects us to universal consciousness. So where Pisces is formless, chaotic, and all-encompassing, Virgo is order, refinement, and precision. So these energies dancing together in this eclipse just brings a different vibe. For me, I feel like the Virgo moon is lock in. And a lunar eclipse is telling us, what are we releasing? What relationships are no longer serving us? What habits are no longer helping us get to the next place? High Virgo energy reminds us that we can make reasonable demands of the universe. Virgo understands that while trust and surrender are important, so are direction and guidance. We do not have to sit around patiently forever waiting for our dreams to manifest. Our job then becomes trusting that what does not unfold on our timeline may be an opportunity for redirection. Wow. Anyway, that's something. Thanks so much for listening to the Pink Pod. It's been so fun. 5 minutes. Today will be short though. Today is a shorter session because I feel like I've had a lot of recordings that were long and full of stories and stuff. 111 on the clock. Today is going to be short because today will be the episode where we answer the big question. How do I get into voiceover? How do I become a voice actor? What do I need to do to make 6 figures and live a life of luxury, recording in your studio apartment, in your closet, and rolling out of bed in pajamas and doing boop-de-bop-bop-bow, and then being like, thank you so much for the $10,000, sir. Thanks for the money. I'm going to go swim in my heated pool. That is the question, right? Right? You're on the other side going, duh. Well, don't know. No, that's not true. So, as I put my little rings on that I forgot to put on, I do consultation calls. I have met with different people that are interested in being voice actors. This ranges from people that are actors who want to get into voice acting. So maybe they're stage actors or film and TV actors or something. And they want to get into voice acting. That is an easier path. Then I also meet with people that have really good voices and people have told them, oh, your voice should be on radio. And then they say they want to be a voice actor. Right. Both can happen. Anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? Quick recap on how I got into voice acting, which can possibly help answer the question. And then I'll give some tangible tools, directions, and steps that I give the people that I meet in my consultation calls on how to get into voice acting. Really quick. Went to school for musical theater at American Musical and Dramatic Academy. First, I started at Marymount Manhattan, 2013, transferred to American Musical and Dramatic Academy, degree in musical theater. At Marymount Manhattan, I started with a degree, building my degree in musical theater, an acting BFA, and a BA in musical theater. Transferred to AMDA. After I graduated from AMDA, I immediately booked the national tour of Paw Patrol Live. So I auditioned my last semester of AMDA in front of casting directors. Like we had a showcase where we'd perform in front of casting directors, things like that. That is where going to school for acting is helpful. That is where taking like classes and stuff is helpful because you get to show casting directors, agents, etc. your talents, and they can decide if they want to call you in or pull you in or something like that, right? Michael Casara in New York saw my acting demo, my musical theater demo. He called me in to audition for the role of Mayor Goodway in Paw Patrol Live. Insert picture here. And I did that tour for 2 years, 500 shows. The Nickelodeon executives, while we were in the rehearsal process, because we were the original cast, they were chatting with me and they were like, hey, Olivia, you're really good at doing this voice, you know, the character and everything. If Mayor Goodway, who we have on stage, hello, my stomach's rumbling. I haven't eaten. Bear with me. Strap in. The Mayor Goodway that we have in the TV show, who does the voice, if she were to stop doing it, we pull you in. You do the voice perfectly. That made me think, oh, I should be in voice acting. Turns out they did not call me in to do the voice of the TV show when they did replace the woman because she was white and they had to replace her with a black actress when the George Floyd strikes happened during the pandemic. I speak about this in the first episode. Let's take it from the top. That's the name of the episode. But I now do the voice of Mayor Goodway on all the video games and the Paw Patrol podcast. So the reason I didn't get called in to do it for the TV show is because they needed to hire a Canadian actress because Paw Patrol is a Canadian show. But when they found out that they couldn't use me for the TV show, I've now been plugged in for the video games. So that is me on your little consoles and stuff. Because I'm sure everyone watching this has the Paw Patrol video game. Paw Patrol Grand Prix and Paw Patrol World on PS2 and Switch and all the little games. I'm sure all of you have that, right? Anywho, that put the seed in my head that, oh, I should do voice acting. I feel like everyone who is an actor or everyone who sees animated movies or everyone who watches TV thinks, oh, I would love to be a voice of a character on TV. I would love to be the voice of the newest movie, whatever, of this character in this animated Disney film. Of course, that was in my mind as an actor, as someone who has studied acting almost my whole life. That was definitely in my mind of something that I'd want to do, but it wasn't the most important thing in my life. It was just something that I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. But when the Nickelodeon executives pull you aside at your rehearsal and they tell you, hey, kid, you'll be good at this. I go, hey, kid, maybe I'd be good at this. So, yeah, I finished tour in 2018. I go back to Atlanta, and I work at the children's school, which is where I went to elementary school. And I get an agent. So that's a big jump, right? That's a jump. This is a little bit where who you know comes in. My dad was a huge commercial photographer here in Atlanta. He built a studio on Edgewood Avenue in 1990, back when Edgewood was like dangerous and scary and no one wanted to be over there. He built a huge photography loft. It is now the building that is right next to the Slutty Vegan, if you're in Atlanta and you know Atlanta. It is now bookstore, but back in 1990, he made it into EW Productions, EW Studios, Ernest Washington Studios. He shot people from like Halle Berry, Tyler Perry, every Sierra, Bow Wow, TLC, one of the last people to shoot Left Eye before she passed away. My parents were very tapped into the industry since 1990 as two Black people coming from New York. Fashion and design for my mom, photography, they went to FIT. So I have a bit of my pedigree. My pedigree is kind of like, I'm made for this a little bit. So this is not to discourage you. Keep watching, please. If you don't have two dope artistic parents. Insert their article here. Fun fact in the picture that I'm going to insert here, my mom's pregnant with me. But they were trailblazers in Atlanta. So when I moved back to Atlanta from tour, because I now have this tour credit, Nickelodeon tour credit on my resume, they called up one of the agencies that they used to work with and get models for different shoots. I met with them because they had a personal relationship with this agency. They signed me, but they only signed me for their voiceover department and I think commercial, but like not dramatic, like not theatrical. I mean, they didn't like sign me for like the theatrical department. They signed me up for voiceover. But this agency based in Atlanta is not like the agency I'm with now. They used to send me just every audition, man, woman, young, old, Black, white, Asian, but and you sifted through those voiceover auditions that they sent to you and decided which ones you would do. It's different now, so I won't spend too much time on how it used to be. Unless you're interested in that, sure. I said this in the first episode, but I'll always say it again. I used to record on my iPhone headphones. Like, I would record on my phone in the, like, Notes app with my iPhone headphones. And that's the MP3 that I would send in for an audition. So I would do those auditions, and I got nothing. Like, I listen back to them, though, and I'm kind of like, I sound like a baby. I'm like, there's nothing better than Fall Together with the new pumpkin spice latte at Dunkin. I don't know. Things have really changed. I've really grown into the craft. So I will say, like, I was not fantastic off the bat. So that's good, right? That's good. That gives hope. That gives, like, I've grown a lot. I've been fortunate to book when I was younger. That has allowed me to get the skills. You know that thing where they're like, we want someone to have experience, but you need experience to book the job, and then in order to get experience, you need to have the job. You know, that whole thing. I was doing all the auditions with my agency here in Atlanta. working at the children's school as an after-school care teacher, and also co-directing a musical. Audition every single day, booking nothing. I get the opportunity to move back to New York in 2019, thanks to my friend Dante, who had a room available in the 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom place, right? I moved back to New York, working as a nanny now, because I leave the children's school, and this is in March of 2019. Yes. March 2019, I moved back to New York. I'm still doing the iPhone headphones audition, right? I book one job with SoFi Banking Company. That job, because this was pre-pandemic, you didn't have to have your whole studio set up and everything. I then went in person and was recording the SoFi Banking job in person. And a little detour. 1, 2, 3 on the clock. I booked SoFi as a brand new voice actor because it asked for improv, and baby, did I give it. I don't know if I'm able to insert MP3s and sounds into this, but I'll just play the audition if I can. Hello, this is Olivia from the future. It worked out. I could add my SoFi audition. So the first thing you're going to hear is me reading the script word for word, because they wanted just a take that was like straight on. Audition from 2019. The second read is my improv version, which is what booked me the job. And I will do a whole other episode where I kind of break down auditions and my choices and the bookings that I've gotten from them. So yeah, enjoy. If not, skip forward like 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, and you'll be fine. Thanks for listening. Bye. This is a message from your fellow millennials. Hi. We've all worked very hard, but economically we've been handed a whole lot of BS. We've got rising living costs, surging housing costs, historically high childcare costs. We need side hustles to get ahead. Some of us think we'll die with debt. But no matter how burned out we feel, you can still get your future right, because you can get your money right with SoFi, where you can get your investing right, your student loans, credit card debt, and home loans right too. Get your money right with SoFi. Knock, knock. This is a message from your fellow millennials. Hi, how are you? We've all worked very, very hard, but economically we've been handed a whole lot of, BS. We've got rising living costs. We have surging housing costs, historically high childcare costs. If you, have a child. Ugh. We need side hustles to get ahead. Some of us think we'll die with debt, But no matter how burned out we feel, you can still get your future right, because you can get your money right with SoFi, where you can get your investing right, you can get your student loans tight, you can get your credit card debt in check, and your home loans right too. Get your money right with SoFi. Or maybe that'll be next episode, where I talk about the art of auditioning. Because I did a whole workshop in Dallas last summer at a voiceover conference, One Voice Conference USA, one of the biggest voiceover conferences in the country, in the world. And my workshop was all about standing out to book jobs. I always improv, and some people hate it. Some casting directors hate it. Some agents hate it. Some traditional voice actors hate it. But I be booking. So I don't know what to tell you, homie. I booked the SoFi job because I was improving. If I'm able to insert the clip, it'll be here. If not, next episode, I'll make it all about the art of auditioning. I actually think I want to do that. Because this is kind of just like a starter. This seems like it might be a little series on how to get into VO and how to be successful and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going in person in New York City. Did I book SoFi because I moved back to New York? Was I not booking because I was in Atlanta? This is a question I ask myself. I don't know if you know about this, but there's a thing called astrocartography. Astrocartography is like using your astrology chart, and it's showing you where your most advantageous places, your most auspicious places to live are. New York, I think, is one of them for me. New York is that for me. New York is one of those places for me. I look better in New York. I feel alive. I make more money. And voice acting is a non-location job. I could be in Belize. I can be in Mexico. I can be anywhere. It is the energy that I think New York brings to me. And I just book more. I'm like more in my groove. Like I said, I'm prettier. I just feel, but I'm also extremely depressed there. Yeah, I'm like highest of highs, lows of lows. Should I move back to New York? Guys, my lease ends. Total detour from the topic at hand. My lease ends May 17th here in Atlanta. And they sent me my renewal. And I don't know if I'm renewing. I don't know what to do. What are some ways that like help you make decisions? Because like when it comes to big life decisions, I like to ask myself, is this expansive or does this shrink me? But what if it's just like neither? I feel like staying in Atlanta would neither expand me nor shrink me. I feel like it wouldn't be one or the other. It's like I just am here. I am. But in order to go back to New York, I really feel like something has to call me. I don't think I can just move back to New York. Show me a sign. I don't know. I miss New York. I do. But like, how would I get my booth there? You know, like that's the things I'm thinking about. I have to book something huge to move back to New York, which is not impossible, especially with this eclipse energy. Anything is really, really possible. I just don't know. And then part of me wants to move to St. Pete, Florida, and live on the beach and drive a golf cart. I need to book a trip. I do. I deserve to be in flowy skirts and sun and swimming and salty curly hair. You know, I need to book a trip. It's time. And I don't want braids. I want to have my hair like this, and I want to have it all curly and yeah. What is this, a therapy session? Anyway, ciao. Anyways, I'm going in person. I'm recording SoFi. Here we are. Boop, we're back. The owner of that studio, and here we go again, who you know, right? The owner of that studio connected me with my current agent now. He recognized my talent because I was going in person recording for SoFi, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, you need a New York agent. And he had friends in the industry, the owner of that studio. He introduced me to DDO New York. Okay, so here we are. And that has allowed me to flourish. I signed with DDO, immediately booked big jobs, Adidas, Adobe. That summer was summer of 2020. Ooh. And that's when I booked Dunkin. So it's like life transformed, especially when I got signed to the right agency. Because once you get signed to the right agency, you're getting opportunities that you would have never gotten if you were on Fiverr or Voices 123. Oh, okay. So now you're asking, okay, Olivia, great story. Thanks for telling us again. How do I get into voice acting? What about me? What about the person that didn't go to school for musical theater and acting, and maybe they did, but the person that's not with an agency, the person that's unsure how to really start making money in this world? What my agents say when you are applying and trying to get an agent, what my agents tell me to tell my friends, here's the inside scoop, come here. They say, if you are cold submitting to ddonewyork.com or voice at gmail, whatever the email is, because you look on the website, because you're a proactive person, you look on the website, you figure out what email to send to what person. They want separate MP3 clips, not one long big thing. Separate short clips to show off your range. 15 seconds of a commercial spot of a job you think you could do really well. 30 seconds of an animated with a couple characters you're throwing in. 15 seconds of a medical spot with a bunch of legal, or 30 seconds of a medical spot with a bunch of legal. Price and participation may vary. My contract, whatever. And then your resume. Well, you can include your resume, but like resumes aren't that important. And a headshot. Why not? If you have a good headshot, why not? Send that in an email. Quick little introduction of who you are, what you do, what your training is. Send it off, right? Or what a lot of people do is spend $10 million on a reel. I'm from the camp. I just had someone ask me on Instagram yesterday. Who should I send them to? They live in Brooklyn. Who should I send them to get their voiceover reel done? If I did not have what I had right now, my agency and everything, what I would do, this is what I would do. Fiverr. Post on Fiverr that you're wanting to work and that you're a voice actor, and start your rates really low. But get that job, book those jobs, right? Book a Fiverr job. And I don't know if they require you to do your own audio engineering. That's another hard thing, but I don't believe in it. I don't believe in spending $2,000 for a voiceover reel. And maybe it's easy for me to say because I'm already in the position where I don't need it. But once you get an agent, so that's why I'm emphasizing, once you get an agent, you don't need a voiceover reel. I get asked for my voiceover reel twice a year, probably. Everything else is just auditions. And when you audition for a job, they don't know if it's your first job or if you've been the voice of Dunkin' Donuts, American Airlines, Kohl's, Adidas, Macy's, ESPN, UEFA, The Knot, Summer Eve, Aveeno. They don't know if it's your first job or if you're a veteran. That's funny. They don't know if it's your first job or if you're a veteran. So that's why I'm like, the goal is to get an agent if you want to make real money. That is the goal. Get agent. Spend $2,000 on a reel? I don't know. And I don't know how other agents are, but my agent said, record your, forgot one of the most important part. You need equipment. Oopsie. This is how I actually record. You need equipment. Pop socket. $10. MXL 990 microphone. $99? Oops. Huh. $99 maybe? Focusrite Scarlett sound interface. I'm showing the camera if you're watching. I've had the same equipment since 2019. It is, you can't even walk into wanting to say you want to be a voice actor without the equipment. Computer, MXL 990 microphone, XLR cable. I'm giving y'all free game. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. MXL 990 XLR cable connected to your Focusrite Scarlett sound interface, or whatever sound interface you want to use, but I've been using the Focusrite Scarlett. It's fabulous. Headphones. Headphones. Computer. The Focusrite's like $150. $99. XLR cable, pop socket, and I have a little configuration to keep my mic up, which I need to get a new one anyway. Hey, if someone wants to sponsor me, send me some equipment. I'd be glad to use it. Please. Please. Also, shout out to the MXL 990 microphone. Shout out to Focusrite Scarlett. Sponsor me. Please. I'd love to do a giveaway. We're putting that into the air in this Eclipse energy. We're adding some fun new things. We're really popping off. Like, look at me. I'm pretty. I'm fun. I'm exciting. I'm a great salesperson. If I like something, I'm really good at selling it. The MXL 990 I was told to get it at the beginning of before the pandemic, because I had to have it before the pandemic when I signed with my agency. It's $99, but it's like a dupe for one of those really, really expensive mics. I think it might be time for me to upgrade. If someone wants to send me some equipment, please. It might be time for me to upgrade, but for now, I'm rocking with it because it's rocking with us. So anyway, get the equipment. Get an agent. How do I get an agent? Go to Fiverr. See if you can do some cheap jobs, some easy, quick, cheap jobs, which preferably you don't have to mix yourself. Try and find voiceover only jobs that don't require you to be the engineer as well. The DAW that I use, this is important. The DAW I use is Twisted Wave. That means your DAW is where you record. That is like it's where you push record and you get your sound waves going. I sound so educated in this. I'm absolutely a master in my craft. Very, very educated. So, Fiverr, Voices 123, I hear is a great site as well, but some of those are pay-to-plays, which I don't really believe in. Your goal needs to be to get an agent. If you don't have any acting training, then instead of spending $2,000 on that voiceover reel, girl, you need to go to classes. Voice acting. Emphasis on acting. Little bit voice, lot of bit acting. Little bit voice, lot of bit acting. Also something that I recently learned. Voice over is for like commercials and e-learning and stuff. That's really what I do. Voice acting is like the anime, TV show, cartoon animation stuff. I never knew that. I'm mostly voiceover. I love commercial, baby. That's where the money is. That's where my voice sits. That's what I'm really good at. Yes, I was on a Netflix TV show called Dee and Friends in Oz, and I did like 12 utility characters and one of the main characters and singing on the show. Yes, it is on Netflix and you can watch it. And I am in like every episode. Yes, I did book an animation, but that was like, I swear it's a fluke. Because I'm really good at commercial. I'm also good at acting, so it makes sense that I would book a TV show, but get the equipment. Step one. Step one, get the equipment. Step two, get some acting training. Or reverse that, whichever one, whatever you feel more comfortable with. The acting training is the most important part. But Olivia, I went to school for acting. Okay, skip that step. Cool. Now we're on to the next. Find agencies that are good in VO and V acting and voice acting and voiceover. Maybe start local. Maybe start with your Atlanta agency and build up and book a job through them. Maybe start with a smaller agency that is sending you 10,000 auditions a day that have nothing to do with you and aren't really for you. To lift this up a little. Maybe do that. Maybe start with a smaller agency. Maybe you're not starting with DDO like me. Like I didn't start with DDO. Maybe you're not starting with DDO. Maybe you're not starting with Atlas. Maybe you're not starting with, I don't know who else does this, but maybe you're not starting with them. Maybe you start with a smaller local market. Submit to them. MP3 clips, no links, nothing they have to click on and could possibly be spam. Small MP3 clips showing your range, showing what you do, right? How do I find scripts that I can record? Great question. I just found this new website, not new, but it's new to me, child. Voicereels.com, VoiceReels.com. They have scripts upon scripts upon scripts upon scripts. Here's one script that I found the other day. And this is how I would audition with it. Hey, I always do. I have to do an episode where I do audition prep. Hey, sometimes in life, you run out of what you need exactly when you need it. There's no shampoo left in the bottle, and it's the big office picture day. You remembered to pick up the birthday cake, but you forgot the candles. There's no toilet roll left, and you need to, well, you know. Oh, my nose is stuffy. Sorry. This is not good. Don't audition like this. That's why we've created our new beer subscription at eBrew. When the good times roll, you know you've got a cold brew on hand. May the fridge never run... Failed. May the fridge never run dry. eBrew. Cheers to that. That's a 30-second script. They have a 15-second script version of this, right? Find some options. Record it on your new fancy equipment that you just got for under $300. Because I'm sure you have a computer. Hopefully. Well, yeah. Anyway. I don't want to sound like privileged to be like, everyone has a computer. Anyway. Start submitting to the agencies that you want to work with. Short MP3 clips. One of them will pick you up, especially if you start on a local level. From there, they're going to be sending you auditions. Boom. You'll probably book one. Maybe after you do like 70. Girl, people think that I just walked into this. It did not matter that I had any tour credit or whatever. Voiceover is I do 10 million auditions a day, and I rarely get booked. But it takes just a few jobs that are high paying to really set you up. So that's how you get into voice acting. It's really all over the place because everyone's journey is different. Whether it's a who you know situation or it's a serendipitous thing, but you have to decide, do you want to do this? Is that actually the work that you want to do? Or do you just want to make six figures from your closet? It can be both. But I didn't know the money that was in voice acting when I started. I didn't know. I fell into it in a lot of ways. But I had the acting training. I do have a solid voice. Right now it's a little hoarse. It's always hoarse. My voice has been hoarse the past 2 weeks. I've been out. I've been living life. Sue me. Sue me, I want to be wanted. I've been having fun. I don't know. It's getting warmer. I'm enjoying life. Tell me where I should move. But anyway, that is how you get into voice acting, voiceover. That is how you can try to get in, right? Some people do the pay to plays, Voices 1, 2, 3. I don't know much about that. Fiverr, I think you can get some smaller jobs for different companies that are looking. I know friends that say they go to Fiverr to find their voice actors for little jobs that they have for like corporate demo videos, internal videos. Do those low paying jobs. Also compile those into like a reel. Post your reel on socials. Post on socials that you're a voice actor. I know this woman on TikTok that posts every day being like, this is how I would sound if I was the voice of Coles. This is how I'd sound if I was the voice of blah, blah, blah. And she just reads scripts on TikTok. There's so many different ways and facets to get into voice acting these days and voiceover that you kind of just have to shoot and try all or do the one that feels most easy and comfortable to you. Do that and maybe you'll land something. But it is a labor of love. A lot of people think you just roll up and you book a SAG scale TV job. Some people may. But that's not the way for most people. You have to decide you really want to do this. It cannot be just, I want to make 6 figures. This is easy. I like talking. Anyone can do it. Because while you see the commercials and it does sound kind of like, I could do that. They had to work to get to that position, to get that agent that would even send them that job. So the audition is the work. The job is the vacation, which is why my next episode I will be speaking about auditioning. I'm going to try and get some questions from people before I record it so that I can know exactly what you guys want to know when it comes to auditioning and stuff like that. That is my favorite thing to talk about. I freaking love talking about auditioning because that means you already like are in the world. And so it's just like where that extra sauce is. Because just because you have an agent also doesn't mean that you're going to be booking. There is also a divine level. I'll end with this. There is a divine level to everything. Just because you're good does not mean you book. It is a divine thing to book voiceover jobs, to book any acting jobs, to book in general in an artist's work, like in a creative sense, in a creative position, is a act of God. Like, you don't just fall into it, you know, like I believe most, like, you know, you have God-given talent. And then you also just have opportunities and things that you're following on your divine intuition in your path. It just, things align like that. When I look back at my story, it makes me go like, whoa, 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 you know? Like I always said, I was paying $630 for a 4-bedroom, 1 bath, sharing it with 3 guys. And I couldn't afford it. And I said 2 years later, it was a year and a half later. No, 2 years later. Year and a half later? 2 years later. I don't know. 2 years later, I could afford a $5,350 apartment. So you have to just believe. You got to tap in spiritually. You got to think that, like, know, like, this is something you really want to do. You have to sharpen your acting tools. Go to voicereels.com to find scripts. Go to ispot.tv to listen to all TV commercials that are on the air. That is where I go to find my commercials, but it's also where you can see what's playing, what's booking, and listen to those. See what type of voices are booking. See what the vibes are, you know? Get in that way. Sharpen your spiritual life. Because I'll never tell you that you're going to, like, succeed in whatever, at least not on my channel, if you were not tapped in some way. It's bettering your vessel and your so things can flow through you. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing the podcast, because God does not reward us for sitting idle and just holding our gifts. I feel that things really start moving in your life when you tap into your gift and decide to share it and decide to not be so stingy. I want to be empty when I die. And I feel like I'm not even at the, like, I haven't even gotten started. There's so much I have to share with the world. This is just kind of like dipping my toe in, just to, like, push myself to do something outside of my comfort zone. I believe in you. I trust you. I love you. Ask me your questions that you have. Submit to agents that you think you'd be great for with small MP3 clips. You can tag your reel in there too if you want to. But small MP3 clips that are easy listens, because they're not going to listen all the way through. They're busy people. These agents, these casting agents, and are not casting agents, but like acting agents. Lean into what you're good at. Do that really well. Get the equipment. Submit to agents. Once you get an agent, then we can, next episode, audition. Audition prep and technique. I got you, girl. And boy. And they, them. In person. And creative soul. Kooky creative. All right, I love y'all. I gotta go. Life awaits. I feel like I've shared what I need to share. What else? What else is there to say? Oh, here's my outro. Thank you so much for watching the Pink Pod Podcast. Like I said, I'm your host, Olivia Sarafina Washington. You can find me, they, them, person, he, her, she. You can find me here every Thursday. And we're going to talk more about voice acting and about life and answer your questions. So ask questions. And thanks for joining and watching and supporting. And please, I need to be sponsored by these people. Sponsor me. Yeah, yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Bye.